Today I'm going to help you guys spring clean your Etsy shop, that is. I'm not helping you clean your house. You guys can do that yourself. I want to help you spring clean your Etsy shop. Give your shop a refresh. Why would you do this? Well, because it helps prompt more buyers, more sales, because things will look better. They'll be more succinct and more engaging for people that come to your shop. So let's dive in and give your shop the spring clean, the refresh that it needs. And I'm going to help you do that with all of the tips in today's episode. Let's go. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL. I'm here to help you with all of your Etsy stuff. And today I'm going to talk about spring cleaning. It is now spring, and most people during spring, they do a spring clean. I don't know why. I don't know what started that. But yeah, it's like when growing up, my parents always did the time to spring clean. You do the deep dive. It's where you actually move the furniture to vacuum and not just vacuum around the furniture. And then you get rid of stuff that maybe you don't need anymore. You put it all, by the curb. So it's a big thing for many people to do the spring cleaning. So I thought it'd be good to talk about spring cleaning your Etsy shop, because a lot of people neglect their actual shop and the shop sections. Usually you're engaged with the listings. You're constantly worried about the individual listings. But when's the last time that you actually looked at your shop as a whole and at your shop sections? Or even more, when's the last time you looked at your shop in the forward-facing view that your customers see your shop? So you go to your actual shop as the customer would see it, and you look at it there. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just, you stay in the dashboard. I'm guilty of this. I work in the dashboard and I work in the listings tab. I don't actually ever go to my shop and look at it as forward-facing like the customers would see it. And every once in a while I will, and I'll see something glaring that I'm like, oh my God, why did I have it like that? And it's just one of those things that you don't look at it from that view, from the customer side. And it's really something that you should get in the habit of doing more often, and not just for spring cleaning, not just once a year. This is something I would say probably every 2 to 3 months, you should really dive in and look at this stuff and give it a little bit of a refresh. So that's what I want you to do first is, go to your shop, look at it from the forward-facing view and see if there's anything glaring that you need to clean up or fix. It just doesn't look good, and start with those areas. But I'm going to dive in and give you best practices on how to look at your shop as a whole and the specific sections as a whole to clean those up so that you guys have the best looking shop out there when customers come to your shop. You want them to be engaged. You want your shop to look professional. You want them to buy from you. So you just have to make sure that these things are cleaned up so it looks that way. And it's not confusing. Doesn't look half-assed. It looks nice, and customers are more apt to buy from you if they're looking at your shop as a whole. And it's representation of yourself. You want it to look good. So let's dive into these top sections that I want to talk about in your shop. And keep in mind, doing this stuff will help you at the end of the day ultimately get more sales, which is always the goal. So the first thing I want to talk about is the banner section. This is the first thing that people see when they come to your shop. So please make sure you have a good banner image. If you have Etsy Plus for your banner image, you have some more options. You can do a carousel type image. You can do a collage type image. You can just do one big banner image, or you can do a mini banner image. So you have some more options there if you have Etsy Plus. If you don't have Etsy Plus, you basically have the option to do one big banner picture. However you do it, it doesn't really, if you have Etsy Plus or not, just make sure your banner image is engaging to your customers. It's the first thing that they see, so it's the most important part of real estate. And I would really keep it visual. I wouldn't put a lot of writing in there. If you want to put your logo, you can, but it's not necessary because your logo is going to be right beneath it. I would recommend highlighting some of your best-selling items there, or your new items, or anything that's relevant to buyers. Maybe it's like seasonal stuff, holiday stuff, best sellers, different things like that. Maybe it's actual customers showcasing the items, wearing the items. So just make sure it's engaging. It's the first piece of real estate they see, so it should pop out to them. Your product should be showcased. I see a lot of people do banner images and just like bright colors and words. There's no products there. Put your products on your banner image, at least a couple, showcase them there. It's extra real estate, as I keep saying. I'm gonna beat it into your head. It's a big piece of real estate there. So make sure you're doing the banner image, put some time into it. You can edit it if you have excuse me, if you have Canva. I've talked about Canva, great resource, and you don't want to pay for Etsy Plus to do your collages and carousels. You can create that stuff in Canva to have multiple pictures in your banner image and resize it to fit exactly. Because that's another thing. It's a weird, kind of a weird size. It's very long and narrow, so you have to have the specific size. All right, moving on. The next thing that you should focus on, and this is another really big part of your Etsy shop sections, and that is your announcement section. Before I get to your announcement section, I want to touch on your logo. I said your logo is right underneath it. Just make sure your logo is clean and you actually have a logo. A lot of people, their logos are very busy, and it doesn't pop up. Think about the big box stores, Target, Apple. Their logos are super clean and people recognize them. So keep it clean, usually on a white background, so it pops out. All right, so back to the announcement session. Like, again, this is really important because another valuable piece of real estate where you can actually write stuff. The biggest thing that people miss on the announcement section is above the fold type stuff. What do I mean? Well, you can expand your announcement section. If you go to your announcement section now and you have stuff written, especially if you have a lot of stuff written, it will collapse that. So you can only see the first like 1 or 2 sentences at the top, and then you have to expand it out to see the rest. Most people will never expand your announcement section unless you have something really engaging at the end that's going to lead them to expand it out. So with that in mind, just know your most important information needs to go above the fold, above the expansion tab, because people won't ever see it otherwise because we're not going to expand it. So what goes above the fold? Any type of sales announcement, coupon codes, email list sign up. Those are the big ticket items that you want to have above the fold. Really, anything below the fold is not really, it's not necessary. It's not that important. You can have additional stuff, but I would have your most important stuff, the number 1 or 2 things that you want people to see and take action on above the fold in your announcement section. And just make sure you have some type of announcement in there. It is really important, if anything, to say hello to the customers, but I highly recommend as you grow your shop to do some type of email list sign up link in there to start building that email list up. So that's your announcement section. The next section that is important is your featured item sections. Again, this is kind of like the banner image. You're going to put your featured items there and showcase your items that are usually your seasonal, holiday, your best sellers. That's what should go there. And you want to make sure to rotate those out so that they are the most relevant to buyers. Don't always keep the same thing in your featured items section because it's gonna be boring and it's not gonna be as relevant. If you're rotating that stuff out to where it's the most relevant to buyers coming to your shop, it's going to help you make more sales. Another benefit of Etsy Plus is you can feature entire sections in your featured items section. So you can have so say you have a dog section, you can feature that entire section as a featured item. When they click on it, it'll go to that section only and it'll be all dog related stuff. So that's a benefit too. Whereas maybe you're just featuring one dog item, they click on it, it'll go to that listing. If you're featuring an entire section, it'll go to that entire section of listings and it'll be really curated for customers. Another benefit, if you want to do Etsy Plus, you don't have to do it either way. Just make sure you're featuring listings there. If you're not doing sections, featuring listings, again, that are the most relevant to buyers coming to your shop, and you're rotating that out every so often. This you're probably going to do a little bit more frequently, probably at least monthly. You're going to rotate your featured items out to kind of refresh your shop, and it's going to give your shop a nice refresh, a nice look, and keep it updated. It's the same thing like you go into Target and the first thing you see are the end caps or the dollar section. That stuff's always different. That's always get different when you go in there. So you're going to do the same type of thing in your shop. When the people are coming, there's different stuff to engage them, especially repeat buyers. All right, the next thing that to consider is below that, it's going to start all of your listings. And this is where looking at your shop forward facing is helpful. How do your listings look? Are you comfortable with all the listings that are showing together? You can, if you're not, you can rearrange those listings on your shop. If you go to the edit tab and then go to their listings there, you can hit the rearrange button and you can drag listings around. Say you have different types of products that in your shop. Say you sell mugs and I'm just throwing out random stuff here, mugs and shirts. Well, all of your listings, maybe because it goes the most recent renewed items are what's showing up there usually. So you could have like a batch of maybe it's all mugs and you don't have any shirts showing. So people may not even realize if you're not featuring them that you even offer that stuff. They don't do a deep dive and it just may not look right. So you may have to rearrange stuff so it looks better, it looks more curated, looks more concise. Don't go overboard with this. I would really only focus on what's showing in that first page, but it could help the aesthetic, it could help the look of your shop by rearranging some of those items around. So just think about it, look at it from forward-facing perspective and see, do I need to rearrange some stuff to make it look a little bit better? All right. The next section that I want to talk about is another big one. That is the About section. This is where you showcase yourself, your shop, why you do what you do. Make sure you're putting a little bit of time in this and doing a paragraph or two, talking about your journey, your story, why you like selling stuff, why you started your shop. Different things like that can engage customers and show them that you're a real person. You're a real small business, and you actually care about what you're doing. And a part of that too is you can add a video and 5 photos. Make sure you're doing that as well. People are very visual, so it helps showcase what you're doing. And I would recommend for that, do behind the scenes type stuff. You making your product, you packaging your product, you creating your product. So stuff like that is super cool to see how, seeing how the sausage is made, so to speak. And it also helps showcase that, hey, this person is, just like my neighbor, Sally, that sells crafts and creates crafts. And I really want to support these small business owners and these small Etsy shops more so than the big conglomerates out there. So that's a great way to do that. It's a great way to just showcase yourself in your shop and your journey. Right below that is your link section. So if you have a website, social media, Facebook, Instagram, make sure you're popping those in there. People want to check out what you're doing as well. They may go to those links and follow you. And then you can, when you're posting stuff, it'll help prompt them to come back and buy from you. So make sure you're using those, that real estate appropriately. I mean, just utilize it if you have those things. If you don't have those things yet, just in the future, if you get them, just make sure you're adding those links to the link section. Next is the shop members section. This is where you can again showcase yourself and anyone else that helps you with your shop. Maybe you have someone that helps you package your stuff, helps you manufacture stuff. So you can do a little headshot there with a little blurb about them. You can keep it entertaining, you can keep it light, you can keep it funny. Again, it helps show that you're a real person that cares about what you're doing, and you're a small business, and this is another reason to come and buy from you. Moving on, we have the shop policies section. Etsy has simplified this greatly, so you can literally go in and just activate this. I said activate. I knew it was a matter of time before I said something weird. So you can activate this simple policies section, and it's really easy. There's a couple of how do you want the returns within 14 days? Do you want to allow cancellations? Yada, yada. It's really simple. Just make sure you go in and activate it so you have a policy section. If you don't have a policy section, it's going to hurt you. It's going to make you seem less legitimate, not to mention the algorithm does not like incomplete shops. So make sure you're activating that. It takes you literally 2 minutes to do that, to have a policy section. And last but not least, is the FAQ section. This is a great section if you get a lot of common questions, especially if you sell a lot of similar type items. Usually there's very common type questions. Does this run small? Does this run big? What are the washing instructions? What are the care instructions? What questions are you getting on a common basis? That's where you want to put in the FAQ section. The more better of a job you do. Don't take grammar lessons from me. The better job you do at answering questions in your listings, in your FAQ section, the more apt someone is going to be to stay and buy from you rather than leave and buy from someone else. Most people aren't going to take the time to reach out. They're going to assume that you're not going to reply fast. So they would rather just move on to another shop that answers their question and buy from them. And I do this all the time when shopping, especially like Amazon, things that I need fast. If a listing does not answer my question, I'm not going to reach out to that buyer because I know that I'm not going to get a fast response and I need the item fast. So I'm going to move on to a similar listing or maybe the exact type thing. And they're going to answer my question. I'm going to buy from them instead. It's the same thing happens with Etsy. The same thing happens to any marketplace out there. A lot of people are going to take the time to reach out. Now, granted, if you have something that's one of a kind, okay, sure, that's the exception to the rule. But if you have something that's other people are selling similar items of, they're going to move on and you're going to lose that customer. So the goal is not to lose that customer. Answer any questions. Be thorough in your FAQ, in answering questions, in your descriptions, in your FAQ. Anywhere that you can, that's answering those important questions. So people stay in your shop and buy from you. But that is it, guys. That is your spring cleaning episode. So you guys can go in, tidy up your shop, make it look a little bit better, get some more buyers out of it, do that refresh. And this is something, again, you should do, I would say a minimum every 3 months, but certain sections you may want to do faster than that because things are changing, holidays are coming up, your best sellers are changing. So set that reminder, put it in your phone, put it in your calendar. Just do that shop refresh from time to time to keep things new and exciting for people that are coming back, people that are coming and buying from you, or people that are just landing on your shop and checking it out from time to time. So hopefully that helps you guys out. That is your homework for this week, and I assure you it will definitely benefit you guys as well. Outside of that, make sure, I've talked about this in previous episodes, I just rolled out a new guide, how to reach your first 100 sales and beyond. A lot of good best practices in there, even if you're beyond the 100 sales, to kind of keep in mind to make sure you're rolling, keeping your sales going, keeping those things front of mind. So tips and best practices on what you should be doing to get your first 100 sales, especially if you're a brand new seller or just started. You guys can get that at handmadeandbeyond.com/100 sales free guide. I'm always trying to give you guys the most value, the most helpful resources to keep your business going, to keep it growing, so that you guys can reach your goals, make that extra income, go full-time someday if that's what you want to do. I want to help you be able to do that with these resources and these episodes. But that is it for today. I'll be back really soon with another good episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day.